Steven Sanford asked, what area of operations do you recommend having maps for? That's a good question. The facetious tongue-in-cheek answer is Earth. On my line one, I carry maps of my immediate area, detailed maps of my immediate area, and I'm going to try real hard to not OPSEC myself, but we'll just say within a 10-mile radius of where I live. They're printed out, they're detailed, they're the combo maps. So I've got road maps, with names on them, satellite imagery showing houses, fields, trees, streams, so forth, so on, and then topo lines superimposed over the top of that. And it's a great combination map. I get these from usgs.gov. Okay, it's not a great website. I hesitate to even tell people where I get them anymore because every time I mention it, I get a dozen emails from people who are like, this site doesn't work. How do I click the button? I don't know. I didn't make the website. I've figured it out, and I am not super high speed when it comes to technology. So if I can figure it out, you can probably figure it out too. usgs.gov is where I get them. They don't cost nothing, and I print them out. Then you can either laminate them, which by the way, a laminator on Amazon's like 40 bucks, or you can put them in gallon Ziploc bags. Okay, and so I do that on all of my line one kits, like my gun belt. I have a couple sets of pants that have cargo pockets in them that I use for operating. That gets a set of maps in them. Chest rigs that are for buddy kits and things like that have maps in them of that stuff. Bug out bags have maps like that. Then I move on to rucks, and then we have a series of spider points, okay? Spider points meaning that if we had to bug out, I can go north, south, east, or west and get to a location, and I'm not gonna give you too much detail, but we'll just suffice it to say, within 100 miles in every direction, I have places to go. So that's detailed on maps that are slightly less detailed. What I do with that is, our area I already have detailed maps of in a 10-mile radius around where I'm sitting right now. The areas of these spider points included in that package is detailed maps, 10-mile radius of that area, and then 3 routes from where I am to that place for every one of them, okay? And that's all in a comprehensive package that lives in bug out bags and rucks. And then from there, we have road maps in the vehicle. We have an atlas, road atlas in the vehicle. I like state maps for the areas, for the state you're in, and then adjoining states. I have some of those in my rucksack, and I like them because they're laminated, they fold up easily, they're compact, and they're pretty easy to deal with. This is the kind of thing, now if we're gonna get super OPSEC-y, I'm not marking those maps up because if I have to drop my ruck and run, let's say somebody finds my ruck and they're digging through it, which is gonna happen, right? If I'm being pursued and I have to drop my ruck, at some point, somebody's gonna come back and go through my ruck and they're gonna find my maps. Well, you don't want, hypothetically speaking, scribbled on this map, Tom Jones' house, 1586, farm to market 17 road, blah, 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 Texas, big red barn, you know what I mean? And star on the map where that is. No, that's kept on my person or in here. So my maps that are on my line 3, my rucks or my bug out bags, are all unmarked. Then you get into like a line 4, which is going to be sustainment bags, your sea bag, your duffel, things like that. That stuff is just more atlases and maps. And having a map of North America, I'm assuming you're in North America, is not a bad thing to have. A highway map of North America that shows all the major highways, that's good. Maps of states that you go to regularly, that's good. A national road atlas, that's good. All of those are good. So I would add to that you need to have a compass, and you need to know how to use it. I have a compass on my line 1, and then I carry one on my line 2 as well. 2 reasons. In case one gets damaged, you realize, hey, we've been walking in circles for half a day. What's going on? Maybe this compass is no good. Okay, I have another one. Or, and this is, this happens all the time. Hey, do you have a compass I can borrow? Actually, I do. Here, you take the $15 compass while I hold the $80 one, right? So have a compass. There are orienteering classes. I think most of them cost about $7 to go to, and they're very cool. They have basic and advanced levels. If you don't know anything, the $7 covers your compass rental for the day and the maps that they are gonna hand you when you get there, right? And you'll go for a morning or an afternoon with your kids, and they'll start here on a map, and you're gonna follow the map with your compass, and so forth and so on. And they will teach you basic orienteering, and you can navigate using nothing but a compass and a map. Pace beads are good to have as well. You can just Google pace beads, ranger beads, how many beads and how to count it, and how, figuring out the distance for each pace for you, so forth and so on. Highly individual when it comes to pace, but highly individual within a very static and rigid framework that allows you to weaponize math to figure out where you are in 4-dimensional space-time using a sheet of paper and a little magnet. So you should learn how to do that. Orienteering is one of the things that I find with most people who are into preparedness are clueless about. They believe that it's just like having the AR-15 with no training. They believe that having a compass and a map with no idea how to use it is somehow, on the worst day of their life, gonna work out okay. It's gonna be okay. So you should go learn orienteering, learn lost proofing, lost proof your kids. We are beta testing Man Camp here. Literally, I can see where we're gonna be doing it from where I'm sitting right now. Here in the fall, and I have a couple of brothers who are likely going to assist me with that. It's going to be awesome. And part of it, we're doing a block of instruction on orienteering and lost proofing, because most people are clueless about it. What is Man Camp? We're teaching men how to be men. We are initiating the uninitiated. It's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. If you have questions about that, you can email me, ntxmag@gmail.com. But we're doing a block of instruction on orienteering just so that you can move about the face of the planet. It's a big deal. I mean, what's that anti-Kythera machine that they found in Greece? See, it's pretty easy to figure out your latitude. It's not easy to figure out your longitude using the stars. There were many a ship that ran into a coastline because they thought, oh, that's 300 miles away. Oh gosh, we're dead. So navigation is big. It's really big. So don't just have the maps, but know how to use them. On my phones, there's one, big time. On my phones have an app called the OnX hunting app, and I pay $15 a month for this app, and here's why. Because it allows me to download for $15 a month. I have 3 states worth of maps on this phone, on the phone, not dependent upon cell service. They're downloaded to the phone, OnX, ONX. And I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can see, the other thing I love is it's great for hunters. It's a hunting app because it shows you who owns the property and where the property lines are. Where am I? And so to do that, it triangulates using cell phone towers. But just to see maps, I don't need cell phone towers. I have 3 states on here. The state that I reside in and 2 of the states that adjoin the state that I reside in, that are primary bug out locations for us. So if I had to, you know, if an EMP didn't make my phone explode, but there was no cell service, I have backup maps on this phone, which I really dig. I really dig it. I like being able to see where the property lines are. You can drop notes in on there, which again, you know, be careful with that. It's probably easier to crack a paper map than it is to crack a cell phone. And I don't mean like, I mean, you know, hack into it. But yeah, shiny objects syndrome, squirrels, NSA, NRO, blah, 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 blah. Boy, you can leave notes in that app. You can mark trails. You can do all kinds of things in that app, and I like it. I don't make any money for telling you that. I have no affiliate links with them. I just, for 15 bucks a month, I found it to be worth 15 bucks a month just to have 3 states worth of maps, and one of them's Texas, and Texas is huge. So to have the entire state of Texas down to, I can see, I mean, I can zoom in and see what kind of shingles are on your roof, okay? I like having that capability for 3 entire states. Yes, please, I'll take it. GPS, you know, again, people go, well, what about an EMP? What if it's not an EMP? Well, I hadn't thought about that. Okay, I have. So GPS is good as well, and you can do the same thing. You can download states offline onto your GPS and use that to navigate depending on what SHTF looks like. You know, I'm mindful of, after Hurricane Michael, FirstNet, which was the first responders network, was down for 2 weeks. The police and firefighters had no comms. For 2 weeks, they had nothing. So yeah, it might not be an EMP, but it could be a natural disaster that knocks out the entire network in an area. Okay, that's a problem. But, you know, your GPS could hypothetically still work. There's lots of them out there. You can get some for $100 that are okay, and you can get some for $500-600 that are awesome. You know, if it has a bunch of stars on Amazon and good reviews, probably a good one to get. If not, if it turns out it sucks, send it back and get your money back and pick another one. I have Garmin's. I think it's a 635. It looks almost like a little, it's got the stubby antenna on it. Looks almost like a little push-to-talk radio. They're good. They're good. Relatively accurate, you know, and the ability to punch in latitude and longitude and pull that up on a device is good. It's a nice capability to have. We use that for construction a lot, especially in the wind power industry, where everything is, you get a sheet of prints, but you're in the middle of nowhere. So it's like turn left at the rock and you'll see a mesquite bush 3 yards away. Drive over there and look south and you'll see the thing. It's like, yeah, or give me the coordinates, here's the coordinates, punch that in, and now you can go right to it. And all the prints that we used to get doing wind farms, everything was marked with latitude and longitude. So having the ability to navigate in your hand with latitude and longitude without having to, you know, whip up an astrolabe and wait for the stars to come out, it's a plus. It's a plus. So that's my brief thoughts on maps and navigation. Also, redundancy is good, and I'm very much so of the opinion that sooner or later this is gonna go away. And maybe it's not an EMP, maybe just the, you know, some nefarious element takes control of it and you no longer have access to it, or your batteries die, or whatever. But having analog means to navigate with and knowing how to use it, highly recommended. So I like maps within a 10-mile radius, detailed maps within a 10-mile radius of my position and whatever positions I might find myself in. And then if I'm navigating from where I am to where I need to be, I like maps of those routes, and I provide at least 3 routes in and out from where I am to where I need to be. Excuse me, wherever I'm going. And clients for Prosperity, I know there's some of you on here on Prosperity that we've done this for, can attest to this. We put routes together professionally, and we do some deep diving as far as where you are and where you should be and all of that. So that's something to consider as well. But absolutely have them on you. Maybe buy a laminator and laminate them. Buying the pre-laminated state highway maps, good idea. I like having those. A lot of state parks give away maps. A lot of rest areas give away maps, paper maps. So that's something to consider as well. You can get some pretty decent maps for $0 if you're in these places. Just you pick them up out of that brochure holder when you're going to the bathroom, right? They're right there on the left-hand side across from the freaking water fountain, right? So I don't think you can have too many maps. And you should definitely have maps on your person and then take it from there. So, shalom.